Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In this video, I want to talk about the labor market. But not just the labor market, but also about inflation and how it also contributes to overall economy. Well, this topic is actually very important because the labor market actually contributes a huge part to what the Fed decides to do in the course of the next few months. And whether they increase or decrease interest rates. This is very important because whether they decrease or increase or they just stay still will affect the course of the economy for the next few years or even at least months. And without further ado, my first point is the power of numbers. So before I get into the important points, I'm going to tell you guys about the report of the labor market. So the report that just came in for the labor market this month was that they have increased 303,000 jobs in the US, which is a lot actually. Like last month was considered very strong and it was around 250,000 jobs increase roughly. And let's also talk about the fact that unemployment rate has decreased from 3.9% to 3.8%, which is a factor that the Fed really hoped would have gone up so that they would have the chance to decrease rates faster. And also, 0.1% may seem small in numbers, but when you zoom it out, it's actually thousands of lives. So it is actually quite a significant number. And on to my second point, which is reading the Fed's mind. So if you ever wonder what's going through the Fed's mind, on the borderline is that if the labor market is strong, it indicates that the economy's health is strong. But at the same time, if it's weak, it also means that the economy might be not healthy or soon will be not healthy. So right now, the labor market is very strong, right? So the Fed will probably hold back on drastic measures, basically decreasing rates, which is exactly why the estimation number, the predictions for rate cuts for May 1st was really low. It was very high a few months ago and now it's very low because they decide meeting to meeting and then they do a prediction. And because of that, it's very low because of how strong labor market is and the fact that inflation is going higher by 0.1% in the last report. So this will cause them to probably not decrease the rates in May. And for June, the predictions is that there's a 57% chance that they will decrease. And for July, there is a 75% chance that they will decrease. I mean, I think it's July because perhaps June is still a little bit too early if you think about how strong the economy is right now. And last month, in fact, the labor market was weaker. So if you think about it, it doesn't make sense that it will go down that quickly. The time span is just going to be too short and it's not going to be right, you know? So if I were to take a guess, it would be July. But some of you would be thinking that that's probably a fake number, you know? It's manipulated. Well, even though it is manipulated, I'm not denying that it's manipulated, but 250,000 jobs increase to 300,000 jobs increase. It may be manipulated number, but the number increased, that is probably not fake because they cannot fake all the way through. At some point, they have to acknowledge some of the numbers. When it's a significant amount, they will have to increase the number as well. So in my opinion, you're comparing both manipulated numbers and they're both increasing. I mean, they increased. So I think the increasing part is real, if you get what I mean. And now to my third point, which is the Fed's plan. So the Fed's plan is to decrease rates 3 times this year by 0.25%. And many people are thinking maybe 2 times is actually enough. But before they actually decrease, in my opinion, we don't know. You know, what if the economy became so good that they can't do anything but to wait, you know? I mean, it's possible, but at the same time, they have a deadline, which, in my opinion, is the election. They want to decrease rates before the election. That's their deadline. But, if inflation keeps going up, they can't actually decrease rates. That would just not make sense. It would be a no-brainer, But that's their plan. And even if labor market is strong, they said that they will still want to decrease 3 times this year by 0.25%. Interest rates is now at 5.5. They want to make it 4.75%. That's their plan. And now to my fourth point, which is challenges ahead. Well, it's actually not just inflation. I've said this last time in my video, but if you missed that out, I'm going to repeat it. Is that if they actually do end up decreasing rates 3 times this year and it causes too much of a significant impact, which is inflation, then if you were to just think in the most free flow way, they will probably not increase rates straight away if inflation spike up very high. Because if there's one thing the Fed likes to do is to wait. See if a miracle happens, something special happens, something saves the economy, inflation perhaps come down, maybe human adaptation to inflation, blah, blah, blah. But that will probably not happen. Inflation will probably spike up really high. And at a point of time, during the spike, people will probably think the economy is looming and being extra great. But by the end of the process where inflation gets too high again, perhaps interest rates might go higher than 6% this time. Who knows, right? So if that happens, go higher than 6% and fast, which they have to do it fast, if at that point of time, and they have to pull it down again, because inflation will spike very fast, then there might be potential recessions, stagflation. We don't know what's going to be there waiting for us. So there's going to be that challenge ahead, and this will probably happen in the next course of in the course of 2 years' time. It's kind of a far prediction, but I'm just saying there could be the possibility of that happening. And on my fifth point, which is what's next. Well, the only thing next for us is to prepare ourselves financially, because we cannot affect something so big overall. We're not Bill Gates. We're not Elon Musk. So even if we wanted to do something, we wouldn't. Even people with hundreds of millions couldn't. The only thing we could do to not be affected is to prepare ourselves financially. So we need to look at the indications and find alternative investments potentially, so that you could put out your money and preserve it, not just preserve, maybe even getting profit. There's a lot of people out there that will be teaching you how to earn profit in a bad economical cycle. You can learn, you can research, always rely on your own research. If you believe it yourself, then you take the risk. If you don't truly believe it yourself, then don't do it, because listening to other people and not researching would be a downfall. So that's probably what's next for us to do, but what's next for the Fed and the economy, we'll just have to see. Right now, Fed is proclaiming 3 cuts this year. And if that happens, probably inflation. So keep your heads up for that. So in conclusion, the labor market in the US is very strong. And based on what we can see, it seems like rates are not even affecting it. So it's like quantitative easing, not really. But if you're trying to say that it's quantitative tightening, is not really as well. So we're like in the middle of that. It's not easing. In fact, they're trying to tighten the monetary policy, but it doesn't seem to be actually that tight if inflation seems to be going up and labor market seems to be very strong, if you get what I mean. So that seems to be the conclusion. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something out of it. I hope to see you in the next one as well. I hope you like and subscribe. Comment down below your thoughts, whether you think I'm right or wrong, or you have other opinions and other looks on this thing. And I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.